Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I'm in Halifax, Nova Scotia, my hometown. I'm back in the city just for a few days to visit some family and see a couple sites. It's early October and Halifax is a beautiful city to visit in the fall. Lots of people come to see all the leaves change colors, and it's a nice kind of 15 to 20 degrees throughout the daytime, so it should be a beautiful visit to Halifax. So our first stop today in the video is the Halifax Public Gardens. It's a beautiful gardens right in the middle of the city. It was formed back in 1874 when they amalgamated a city park and an older gardens from the early 1800s into now what is known as the Halifax Public Gardens. It's absolutely beautiful. There's a bandstand right in the center. There's a pond and all kinds of benches. It's absolutely meticulously groomed and planted. We'll have a little look around and we'll check out some of the beautiful sites and stuff, and they also do free tours. There's a little coffee shop in here and they run those all throughout the day, the tour. So if you want to do a free tour, definitely check that out. So here's the bandstand, and you'll see all the seating here, and throughout the summer they'll do performances. They have a schedule and it will change throughout the summer. Lots of people come down absolutely free and look at the beautiful area. And if you look off to the right here, there's one of those garden horticultural tours. It's a little bit of history and a little bit about the plants and stuff in the place, but absolutely beautiful. Nice summer afternoon here, and back when you look towards this way, that's the coffee shop, snacks, and you know, all kinds of stuff like that. Anyways, we'll take a spin around the gardens. It's only about 8:30 in the morning, so there's not a ton of people here yet, and it's a gorgeous, gorgeous October day. And back in this corner of the gardens, we come into some serpentine beds, and they're absolutely gorgeous. I love these beds. I actually was a landscaper. I went to school for landscaping and horticulture years and years ago. I actually did a work term here when I was about 18, 19 years old in the Halifax Public Gardens. And these used to be all bulbs in the spring. I'd have to haul them out, plant in all brand new plants and stuff. Learned quite a bit under the head gardeners here at the Halifax Public Gardens. Fascinating time. I since then moved on from gardening. I didn't do that for a long time, but I still do it as a personal passion. Love gardening in my spare time, but no longer as a career. But yeah, this is a beautiful area of the gardens here. One of my favorite. Beautiful fountains, lots of benches. The pond's just over there. We'll be there in a second. And I love these serpentine beds. They do such a nice job here. Absolutely gorgeous. And this is October and we're still got lots of blooms, right? It's October and the blooms are still nice and healthy, beautiful. So right there in the pond is a little replica of the Titanic, and if you did not know, the victims of the tragedy of the sinking of the Titanic are actually buried here in Halifax at the Fairview Cemetery, only about 10 minutes from where I'm standing. And when they did the rescue or the salvage operation, I guess, this is where they brought the victims. Unfortunately, there's a huge kind of section of the Fairview Cemetery, some plaques and some write-ups about the Titanic. If you're in town, definitely go check that out. And if you're into football, the Halifax Wanderers Football Club right across the street, check out a match if you're in town. They're part of the Canadian League here. So anyways, yeah, definitely check them out. It's a great little spot, and check out the Fairview Cemetery. Lots of naval history, British history, and actually right, if you, well, you won't be able to see, but if it was fall and the leaves were gone, right there is Halifax Citadel, a big old British fort that overlooks Halifax Harbour. Part of Parks Canada. You can take a tour. They shoot off a noon gun, which is famous here in Halifax, the noon gun. They shoot off a big cannon right over downtown, makes a big boom, and yeah, it's pretty good little museum and fortress to go check out up there. So if you're a fan of rhododendrons, this park has quite a few big ones. This is one of the biggest, and It blooms earlier in the year. This is all like purple, but you'll see all the kids when it's prom, when it's like high school prom, they all come down and get their pictures taken here. It's absolutely beautiful. Lots of people come and do their wedding photos, and of course the rhododendron, the roses and stuff is always the backdrop for most of the photos. It's absolutely gorgeous. I'm a huge fan of rhododendrons, always planted them in my yard. They never got this big. This would take years to get this size. They grow quite slow. They love acidic soil, which of course Halifax has tons of acidic soil here. But yeah, absolutely beautiful. You can see, oh, there's some of the blooms that maybe didn't go, but yeah, these are an early bloomer, but it's basically just a wall of purple. Gorgeous. All right, so we're currently in the old burying grounds, opened in 1749, the same year Halifax was founded. And the reason they opened these burying grounds was for the British Army and the Royal Navy who were stationed here. Over time, it lasted till about 1844. 12,000 people were buried in just this area here. 12,000 people, but only 10% of them have a gravestone, and they're quite old. So we'll have a look through fascinating history here in Halifax. If you didn't know, of course, the British founded it. Big British history here still to this day. And the British Army had multiple forts everywhere all around Halifax, Citadel, York Redoubt. There's all kinds of cool stuff. If you're into history and British naval history and stuff like that, fantastic place to come visit. Anyways, yeah, we'll check out a few of these old headstones, and there's a beautiful church opposite of this, and we'll go have a look at that in a few minutes. So interesting here, this headstone was for a Mr. Henry Price, and he was the provincial grandmaster for North America of the Masons. Really interesting. If you didn't know, Masons have a long history here in Canada and in Nova Scotia, of course, coming back from the UK and stuff. So lots and lots of history. Actually, many of my friends are actually Masons. I'm not, but a lot of my friends are. So absolutely interesting. And if you love the TV show The Curse of Oak Island, it's about an hour and a half down the road. I've been there years ago. I actually have a couple of videos about some Oak Island stuff in and around Halifax. I'll link them in the description of this video. Definitely check that out. Tons of history here, and Oak Island is back doing tours. I think they started them this summer. So if you want to check out where the TV show's filmed and see the treasure hunt, go check out Oak Island. Down the South Shore, about an hour. So we're just finishing up here in the burying grounds. We're gonna head over to St. Mary's Cathedral, a landmark church here in Halifax, consecrated back in 1899. Absolutely gorgeous. We'll go in, we'll take a spin. I'll leave a few shots. If you so choose to, you can leave a donation. They have like a soup kitchen program to feed the less fortunate. They also have a renovation box there, a little donation. So check her out. It's a beautiful Catholic church. So check her out in Halifax. There's another beautiful church down in Grand Parade Square. We might see that today, I'm not sure. But after here, we're gonna head down to the waterfront out of the burying grounds, and we'll see what's going on down there. It's a beautiful fall day in here in Halifax, so we're gonna make the most of it. All right, so we made it down to the waterfront here. Beautiful view. You can actually take a trip out to George's Island. It's part of Parks Canada. You can go over there. I actually have a video. I'll link it in the description. It's kind of cool. It's an old British military fort. And of course, the cruise ships are in. And just down there is the cruise terminal. and the Seaforth Farmers Market. We're going to take a stroll around the waterfront here, all kinds of new restaurants, and goes all the way down to the casino. It's quite a long boardwalk and beautiful. Lots of nice restaurants. They're always changing, absolutely beautiful. Bunch of touristy stuff to do, of course. You can take some of these ships out. You can go on booze cruise or tall ship cruise, whale watching, you name it. There's all kinds of stuff to do. All right, so we landed in Halifax yesterday, and our first restaurant that we visited is Tribute. And Halifax has an amazing food scene, always has, and they constantly have new amazing restaurants to come check out. This was a new one on our list. Tribute, we came last night. They do like, it's kind of like an Italian place, a lot of pasta. I actually went with a roasted chicken, absolutely phenomenal. The desserts and the cocktails, top notch. I'll leave a few pictures below. The roast chicken, super smart way to present that. And the cocktails, out of this world, like I said. Highly recommend checking this out. We're gonna be visiting Asia, which is right next door. That'll be tomorrow night. I'll leave a little review on that too, but Tribute, blew my socks off. Fantastic restaurant down here on the waterfront of Halifax. All right, well, we made it over to the Queen's Marque. It's the building behind me. There's a beautiful hotel in there called the Mirror. Tons of restaurants in and around this area. I'm actually taking my father to Drift tomorrow for lunch. We got reservations in there. I'll let you know how that is too. But yeah, lots of beautiful restaurants. Museum of the Atlantic's around. All kinds of like fishing tours and tours like crazy. But one tour you might not have known is the wine tours. Nova Scotia is known for its wine. Just about an hour and a half down in the valley, the Annapolis Valley, and they have a plethora of vineyards. There's Luckett's, there's Bent Ridge, Yost, there's all kinds. And if you're looking for a truly unique wine experience, try the Tidal Bay. It's exclusive to Nova Scotia. They only use Nova Scotia grapes, so you can't find it anywhere else. It's one of my favorite wines. It's a white and it's called Tidal Bay, and I'm not a huge wine drinker, but highly recommend checking that out. If you're here and you have the time, head down to the Annapolis Valley and do all the wineries, the vineyards. Amazing. All right, we're just making our way along the boardwalk here, and behind me you'll see the Halifax Transit Ferry, and that will go from the Halifax side right over to Alderney Landing in Dartmouth. I don't know how much a ticket is, but I believe you have 2 hours to return with a transfer. There's some nice restaurants, brewery, there's a little park. That's downtown Dartmouth. It's basically, it used to be its own city back in the day when I was living here as a child. They had Bedford, Sackville, Halifax, and Dartmouth. It's all amalgamated now. It's all Halifax Regional Municipality, but definitely go and check out Dartmouth. This is over here, these taller new buildings. That's I think it's called King's Wharf Landing or something like that. It's kind of luxury residences. But yeah, there's some nice stuff over there. There's a vegetarian restaurant. I've never been to it because I don't eat that, but people rave about it. It's called the Wooden Monkey. It's been a staple in Dartmouth for years. I've never been, but people rave about it. And yeah, we're just gonna go check it out. Looks like they're gonna be putting some new stuff. This used to be full of restaurants. Seems they have since departed the Halifax Waterfront. We're gonna go grab some lunch back at the Queen's Marque in probably another 30 or 40 minutes. And yeah, definitely take a trip on the ferry. I will leave the price below, and it's pretty reasonable. It'd be under $5 anyways. And yeah, enjoy Dartmouth. Pretty nice spot actually. So in the previous clip I mentioned that some of the restaurants have left the boardwalk. Well, this is an old school restaurant, been here for decades and decades, called Salty's. I was just talking to the guys over here. They have it all fenced off, and the structure of the boardwalk itself, the wharf here, this all has to be replaced. This used to be the famous Cow's ice cream here from PEI. It'd be lined up in the summertime. So this is all getting ripped out and redone. And over here, there's cobblestone roads. Halifax is known for its cobblestone. So I was just talking to that guy over there. He said they shipped all the cobblestone up from Boston and they're laying it here in Halifax. And if you know anything about the history of the relationship between Boston and Halifax, years and years ago, back in the World Wars, we had a explosion in Halifax Harbour. The Mont Blanc hit another ship and it leveled most of Halifax. So we needed assistance. So Boston heeded the call and came to help Halifax and all the people. They sent supplies and doctors and soldiers and everything up here. So every year now at Christmas, we cut a tree down from Nova Scotia and we ship it and give it to Boston. And they have a big tree lighting ceremony down there. And now we have cobblestone from somewhere in old historic Boston, which I believe is quite similar to Halifax in its architecture kind of style, British roots. So anyways, fascinating little story. All right, so I'm currently up in Grand Parade here in the center of Halifax. It's a meeting area established back in 1749. Behind me here is Halifax City Hall, 3-story building. The monument here is for fallen peace officers, and that is St. Paul's Church. We're gonna take a walk down. I have a cool kind of ghost story. It's not open to go inside, but there's something cool and interesting. I'll tell you when we get down that way. And here is the War Memorial in Grand Parade in Halifax, dedicated to all the fallen soldiers throughout all the wars, from the World Wars all the way up to Afghanistan. And right at the top is some of the wars. You got Somme, Vimy, Passchendaele, which was a great movie actually, made by a Canadian. Check that out. Yeah, fascinating little monument. And then up to St. Paul's. All right, so I made it up to St. Paul's Church, established in 1750. It's the oldest Protestant church in all of Canada. Just went inside and took a little tour, completely free, fascinating little church. Of course, when you first walk in, there's a solid iron door. It's to memorial for the guys that died in World War I. So that's kind of interesting. It was put in 1930, solid lead or iron. I forget what he said, but anyways, very impressive door. Of course, beautiful stained glass, beautiful altar. It's an amazing little church. Definitely go and check that out. And I'm just gonna go around to the side of the building and then I'll let you in on that cool little story. Okay, so I'm up on the side of St. Paul's Church. Here's the side of it here. It's not going to show up because of the way the sun is right now. I'll try to use my camera and see if it'll be better. But if you look from the third window over in the upper right quadrant, you'll see that the window does not look the same as all the other ones. So I mentioned earlier we had the Halifax explosion in the harbor where an ammunition ship hit another one and it basically leveled Halifax. Well, this building is one of the oldest buildings in Halifax, and apparently the deacon was standing up in this window when the explosion happened, and the heat from the explosion etched his image into this window. There's also another story, it's a bit more macabre, where a sailor's head goes flying through the window. I don't believe that one, but there is the window. I'll show you a shot from the inside too, but that's it there. The third window in is supposed to be the deacon etched into the window from the Halifax explosion. Kind of neat. All right, so I'm up on Argyle Street and the Halifax Convention Center is right behind me. It's kind of like a little pedestrian street. It carries on down there. And if you see the steeple in the back, that is St. Mary's Cathedral from earlier this morning in the video. This is lined with like restaurants, all kinds of stuff. It's kind of a cool little street. Gets very, very busy when events are on, concerts, hockey games, all that kind of stuff. It's, yeah, it's a lively street. It's kind of dead right now. It's about 1:30 in the afternoon on a Friday. So yeah, it'll be busy tonight, not too busy right now, but yeah, beautiful little street. Definitely check it out. There's some great restaurants that have been here for many, many, many years in Halifax. All right, so I made it over to the Dartmouth side. Earlier in the video, I was standing over in Halifax on the other side of the water, and I told you to take the ferry over here. Here is Alderney Landing. This is where the ferry will dock, and there is the Wooden Monkey restaurant up there with that terrace. You can see a bunch of people out there already. So this is Alderney Landing, and if you go through this building, you'll be in downtown Dartmouth. Little park on the side, and we're gonna go check it out and explore it right now. So as you can see right out here, here is one of the ferries coming into dock here at Alderney. The wind's picked up a little bit, so I'm gonna head into downtown Dartmouth and we'll see what we can scope out over here. I haven't been down here in quite a few years, probably 3 or 4 since I've been in downtown Dartmouth. So we'll go check her out. All right, so we're downtown Dartmouth on Portland Street. Man, has it changed quite a bit since I've been here. Some brand new stuff, like you would never see Harvest Clean Eats in the Dartmouth side. You would always see like burgers and, you know, dirty old bars and stuff like that, but it's really changed. They got Darya Brewery, that's kind of cool. Vandal Donuts is over here. Whiskey's Lounge, I think that might be original. But yeah, it's always been a little bit more kind of a rougher side versus Halifax. Locals refer to it as the dark side, actually. Yeah, I grew up over in this side, just up the hill in Cole Harbour, actually. Great little bedroom community. But down here, yeah, totally turned it around. It looks quite nice. So we'll go check a few more things out while we're down here and see what we can get into. So if you're ever in Dartmouth, or really in Nova Scotia in general at all, there is a ton of craft breweries here. They used to publish a map, a craft brewery map in the summer for the tourists. And you could literally drive from one end of the province to the other, stopping at all the craft breweries. And most of them have fantastic restaurants with really kind of eclectic menus. They take like common pub food and kind of elevate it, twist it. It's really good. Some of the best restaurants here in Nova Scotia are at breweries, so definitely stop in. They have fantastic menus, and there's so many of them right across the country, right across the province, right from Yarmouth up through the valley, all the way up the South Shore, the Eastern Shore, through Antigonish, and all the way into Cape Breton. If you're into Cape Breton, check out Big Spruce Brewing. I stopped there a few years back. That was phenomenal. And yeah, there's just so many. There's a bunch here in Halifax too. 9 Locks, Garrison, Propeller. Oh, there's so many. And we just seen that one on Portland Street, Darya Brewery. So there are so many around. If you're into craft beer and stuff, you can't go wrong here in Nova Scotia. All right, so I took a drive out to my old neighborhood where I grew up, Cole Harbour, just on the other side of Halifax, up the road from Dartmouth. That's my high school right there, Cole Harbour District High School. Went there back in the early 90s. So I went to my favorite old little kind of greasy spoon. It's called Sasy's Pizza in Donair. It used to be Dino's back in the day. And I went and got a Donair, and it's kind of like, if you're over in Europe, you know about the doner kebab fire sandwich. Well, ours is a bit different. What happened is a guy came over from Europe, landed in Halifax. He rolled out the doner kebab. Nobody liked the sauce, so he created a sweet one. It's basically evaporated milk, garlic, sugar, and maybe a little vinegar. It's kind of like curdled milk, but it's delicious. You got to try it, trust me. And anyway, so I went and grabbed a Donair. They don't really make them in the rest of the country. They try to, but they never succeed. Halifax is the original Donair, I guess, in the world, since a guy from Europe came here and created it. And there's many imitators, but only the original is here in Halifax. So I'm gonna tuck into this for dinner, poke around my old neighborhood. That'll probably be it for today. And tomorrow, I don't know, I'm grabbing my father, we're going out for dinner or lunch, and then we'll see what we get into. So this will be it for tonight. I'll show you a shot of that Donair though. It's pretty fire. Meat, sauce, onions, tomatoes in a pita. You can't go wrong. All right, so it comes bundled. This is just a small too. They come like huge. You can get like a pound of meat in them. This is just a small, all rolled up. You never want to eat this in your car because the sauce, I'm sure it's just gonna be everywhere like back in the 90s, but I'll show you what it looks like. Hold on, you gotta unwrap these properly or they become a mess. All right, so here you go. There it is. It's sloppy, it's wet, and it's messy. It's probably not good for me, but it's delicious and it's going downrange in about 3 seconds. I've missed this for so many years. It's really the only place that makes it like this. Anyways, I'm gonna tuck in. It's gonna be phenomenal. Check one out if you're ever here in Halifax or anywhere in Nova Scotia. And don't forget the garlic fingers too while you're at it. Anyways, we'll see you tomorrow. All right, so I was just heading back to my hotel and I thought, geez, I got the night to myself. My wife's out with her friends and I said, I'm gonna swing by Bedford. There's this old little place here, opened in 1940 behind me. It's the Chickenburger. Now they sell like hot dogs, chicken tenders and all that stuff. But they started with the original, it's like a chopped chicken on like a hamburger bun. You can get it with like mayonnaise or gravy, cranberry sauce, stuff like that. A lot of people just get it plain. That's how I went tonight. Plain chicken burger and some fries and a Diet Coke. Yeah, been around since 1940. So if you're ever out in the Bedford region, definitely check in. It's like kind of an old school diner vibe. They've expanded over here now. They have a dairy bar and cafe. And apparently they show movies here all throughout the summertime. And right before Halloween, they're gonna show Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas. So pretty cool. Anyways, check her out. This is it here, the Chickenburger. Yeah. It's gonna be good. I'll show you what it looks like here. It just comes wrapped in wax paper. There's your old school fries. They literally put the old tray and then just fire the fries in there. Freezer fries, of course. No hand cut stuff here. And then, yeah, that's it. That's your chicken burger there. Just like chopped chicken on a hamburger bun. Simple, but delicious. So on one of our final days, we went for a little drive around Halifax. I wanted to check out some of the old beaches and the coastal areas I used to hang out in when I was a little kid. So we went out to Lawrencetown, we went out to Rainbow Haven and a few other spots. And we had a fantastic morning checking out the beaches and a few coastal trails. Then we went to the hotel, had a little siesta before heading downtown for a beautiful meal at Asia. And I'll leave you with that review right now. All right, so we just went for a fantastic dinner here on the Halifax Waterfront, right on the boardwalk, just in the building behind me. It's Asia, kind of a new restaurant here on the Halifax Waterfront. Fantastic. They kind of serve everything family style, where they just bring out big bowls or plates and you kind of pick at it. It was really good. We had like a sweet and sour chicken, some tempura shrimp, tempura green beans, some Hakka noodles, and we went with this fire dessert. Cannot remember the name of it, but I'll put it in the I'll put it below. They came out, they did a whole presentation. It was like this big kind of chocolate egg, and inside was a miso cream and a ice cream. I think that was miso also. And then they had like a miso salted caramel that was warmed, and they drizzled that over this egg, and it all melted into a big puddle of chocolate goodness. It was absolutely fantastic, and the server was absolutely amazing. That guy made the meal. So I would highly recommend Asia if you're here on the Halifax Waterfront. Really, really good. You won't go wrong. All right, so I'm just closing out the video here in Halifax. I ended up just doing a little bit of shopping on my final day. I'm actually over here in Dartmouth Crossing, which is kind of like a big shopping area, big box stores and all that, lots of restaurants and all the chain stores. So I'm just hanging out over here today, gonna go grab some Greek food at Ella before heading out to the Alt Hotel at the airport, and that'll be it for Halifax. So coming up in the future, I haven't had a whole lot of videos on the channel since I left Malaysia, but I will be heading to Toronto, Ontario in Canada in November, and I'll be back again over the winter. So there might be a couple of videos out of Toronto, but next year you're gonna see a lot of videos out of Europe. From where, I'll keep hidden for now, but if you've made it this far, stay tuned. Coming up over the next few months, I'm probably going to drop a few more videos on my eventual move to Europe, which hopefully will be in early 2026 if all goes well. If not, well, I guess it'll be a bit longer, but I'm going to document the entire process and everything. I've just been dealing with a lot of documents, a lot of paperwork, so I haven't been traveling, but we're going to get back into that. So if you made it to the end of this video, thanks for tuning in, and there'll be more on the way. Anyways, that's all for now. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.